Good morning, everyone. Welcome to God, Freedom, and Bitcoin. I'm Janet Gatewood here with my husband, Todd Gatewood.
And good morning, everyone. We are back for another great episode.
We have a special guest today. We have Steve Blanco in the house. Welcome, Steve.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here.
We were having some fun talking before the show, and Steve made a funny statement that I think just starts the whole show off. So, Steve, we're going to take it back to you.
All I said was, when we were born, Richard Nixon was still president.
And of course, I said in 1971, when all that stuff with the gold standard was going on, we were born. So imagine that.
That's right.
Yeah.
So the three of us are products of the changes in our financial system of the changes that the president made while we were born. Now that's interesting. Right here today.
Yeah. I mean, I always say that whole, it was a fake gold standard. So it wasn't real at all. None of it was real.
So would you say that President Nixon kind of robbed our financial future when he took us off the gold standard?
Well, it's funny that this is its own podcast, just talking about Richard Nixon, obviously. But I don't think he did it.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I mean, I think they set him up,
I agree.
So he's like a puppet,
Yeah,
like Ponzi, like controlled by what the deep state was back there. It was back then too, right?
Yeah, it was just the same still.
Well, and he was in the.
It hasn't changed.
Why are we laughing? They're so evil.
No, because it's actually funny. The thing is, if we live in fear, then none of us are living our lives, and no changes will ever be made. So that it's better to laugh about it.
Well, and you look at it too. He was actually Dwight D. Eisenhower's vice president. So he was a patriot. I know he was, because if you heard anybody that's heard Eisenhower's speech talking about the military-industrial complex, Nixon was well aware of what he was dealing with, and I think he was trying to work around the constraints of that system and do what he thought was best at the time. Literally,
I probably am a little bit more jaded than you.
That's
in
okay.
in that regard, because I don't think he was doing anything.
Yeah.
I think that maybe years in the past he might have had some ideologies or got into politics for good reason. Like I don't know. I didn't know the guy personally, right? But I think that they're really just mouthpieces for whatever is going on.
Right.
Yeah. I want to say to anyone listening, our chat's open today. So all topics are on the table. We may or may not talk about what's in the chat.
Let's lay it down.
We are here and we have Steve. So he's great with Bitcoin and crypto questions. But Steve, I want to ask you, and then Todd, I want to ask you too. There's so many questions in the Bitcoin space. So let's start with an easy one. What do you like about Bitcoin?
Everything.
That's a pretty simple answer, Steve.
Yeah. I mean, Bitcoin is just, the most incredible thing that I've ever seen, that all of us who are in the space are aware of, that really seems to embody actual progress for humanity.
Yeah. Nice. Todd, what do you like about Bitcoin?
I like the ecosystem and the businesses that we're building around it here at the club. I mean, honestly, if you look at Ben and what he's building with all the businesses, the banks, hotels, just the ecosystem that we're building, it's given us all an opportunity to actually become really entrepreneurial in spirit, and I'm grateful for that. And I think it's going to bless us all in the future.
Yeah. I'm going to answer it too.
I was just going to say, what about you, Janet?
Exactly.
Okay. I sort of like everything. I love the abundance mindset. I love the financial hope. I love that if you understand Bitcoin, you get into it and you start putting money away, life gets cheaper on the Bitcoin standard. People are very hopeless in the fiat world, and it's just a whole different world. And we're here. I've said this a lot. If we just wanted to make money, I would keep selling houses, which I'm still doing, and we would just stack Bitcoin. Being in this space has required a lot more, but it's a mission, because if more people have Bitcoin, Bitcoin grows, but more people have financial hope. We run into people every day and they're so stressed out and they're so anxious and they have no quality of life. It's going away and they can't pay their bills and they can't feed their children, or they hate their job and they're stuck, or health insurance, car insurance is now double. They can't afford their home insurance, everything. So there's so much positivity and hope in the space. And if people will listen and open their minds, that's why we're here, is with our education and our live classes. And it's a community. I love the community. I love the community. Okay. So next question. Let me think. What's my next question? Okay. Steve, let's go with you. What do you think is the biggest mistake you see people making in the Bitcoin crypto space, or a couple big ones?
The biggest mistake I see people making is the same mistake that I made in the crypto space, and that is selling any Bitcoin that you've ever had. That's the number one mistake.
That's so simple, but it's everything, right?
It's simple, but it's not that simple, because the thing is, we're so programmed in the world of scarcity that we can't apply or assign value to things in a realistic way. So, someone might buy some Bitcoin and the price might go up. Maybe they bought $5,000 worth of Bitcoin and the price went up, and now their $5,000 is worth $7,000, and they sell it. So that's a completely irrational view of value.
Yeah. Todd, what mistake do you see people making?
And to kind of piggyback on what he was talking about, it's like sometimes we get greedy before we need to get greedy. And he's right. When you're selling and escalating an asset like that to gain a few dollars, it's really not taking a long-term look at it. You're kind of taking a short-term view of a long-term project, if you will, in Bitcoin. So for me, I agree totally with everything Steve's saying as far as that goes.
Yeah. Okay. So I think one of the mistakes I see people making is pausing, hesitancy, letting fear guide them. Like, it is scary, right? But everything can be scary. But I've had some people say, I still need to buy that Bitcoin. So I guess they're technically not in the space. But when people pause and hesitate and they don't move forward, they miss that opportunity. And they say you get Bitcoin at the price you deserve. And you can lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink. I'm not going to go force someone and go, you have to listen and do this. You know what? They are going to find us. But I think you're right. I think selling it, I think not looking at it through a long-term lens. When you think about each Bitcoin is going to be worth millions and millions per Bitcoin. And you can get one right now for $119,000, and you don't have to buy one. Buy $50 worth, buy $100 worth, whatever. That's going to be worth $1,000, $10,000, $100,000 if you hold it for your family. And what I'm so grateful for in the spaces like Jay and Ben, our CEO and our founder, putting together programs like our private key bank that's coming, where people don't have to sell it. They can borrow against it. That's a whole nother thing. I do want to say that because it's coming, like buying homes with Bitcoin. I know people have done it, but where actual TradFi situations, they can use Bitcoin and cryptos as an asset for a loan. We're going to be able to have more and more people come in and afford homes. They can't afford them right now.
Well,
my listings are sitting.
And I just had a friend of mine from the Chamber of Commerce that I've known for a while, super good guy. And he called me up. He's changed jobs and stuff. He sold his house in April. And it actually just closed, actually. And he told me, he says, I'm debt free and I've got money. He says, I need to come see you. I said, that's perfect timing, because I've got programs that if you want to take some of that fiat and you want to buy some Bitcoin, we can do that for you. And that's the non-KYC Bitcoin. He could do mining pools if he wants to.
And then mine it.
Mine it. Yeah, totally. So there's a lot of stuff that we've got that people who have sold their homes, the homes to hodl. Of course, he's got cash. He doesn't need to even do that program. But, that's the best part about it is we're starting to get those calls. And I know Steve started off the week really good. We've really started the week off really good and ending pretty strong as far as people walking in, wanting to talk to us. I had a bunch of phone calls and it's starting to pick up. And of course, as you know, Steve, with the escalation of price, the more people we have reaching out.
Yeah. And we're going to get right back to Steve. I want to say one thing. We have so many great people with Ben and Jay and the programs we have in the shows. Because the next question I want to ask y'all is who you listen to. Who can you help people direct to kind of help them? Because we want people to do their own research. And what you said, Todd, people are walking in the door. You and Steve have had a very successful week, and Amanda, with people coming in and signing up, and it's happening. But in this space, so anyone listening, Ben has a show every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central Time, and Jay does it on Thursdays at 9 a.m. We have Sherpa does a show at noon. So pay attention, sign up for BBTV for our channel, and you will see these different shows. from our team. So we have a lot of content out there and a lot of education. But Steve, who do you like to listen to gain more knowledge in the space in the whole arena?
Well, Todd already knows who I'm going to say, but that's definitely Ivan on tech. Ivan, he's my favorite YouTuber in the crypto space. If we're talking about crypto, obviously, like you said, it can extend beyond the crypto space because expansion exists in all realms of our lives, right? And the goal is obviously to expand our knowledge, expand our horizons, expand our connection to the great consciousness. This is also what Bitcoin is. But Ivan, I really like because he's not a shiller. He's just talking about the market, and also he makes fun of everybody, which
he's hilarious,
which I think is very important. It's a healthy place to be, because everybody gets so wrapped up in information, especially now in 2025 when there's just a constant feed of information, right? And everyone gets wrapped up in that, and then they become like living like this, right? Like tense, anxious, anxiety, the age of anxiety, even though that was the middle of the 20th century, but it still extends to today. And so that's really the reason that I always talk about Ivan. It's just his vibe is just great, and he's very knowledgeable. It's not like he's giving real information,
I think he is hysterical. Yeah, he knows what's going on. He's got a finger on the pulse, but he's so funny. And he's Russian? Is he?
Yeah, I think actually
Belarus.
He's from Belarus.
He's from Belarus. Yeah.
Okay, so his accent is awesome.
He's got a sense of humor.
He's talking about it, and then he uses some Southern saying that we would say with a Russian accent.
Oh yeah, and he.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and he does it like he hams it up a bit too, like with all the different accents.
And he makes fun of his broken English all the time.
Yeah. even though his English is amazing.
Well, he knows it better than me, and I've been speaking it my whole life. So there you go. I'm still learning, man.
Same here.
Yeah.
Didn't Bitcoin Ben do comedy for a while? Didn't he do? Because
Ben's done just about anything.
Yeah,
he's done absolutely about anything you could think of, and then some. So it's just for him, it's constant growth.
Who do you like to listen to?
Well, of course, I have to say Ben right off the bat, because if not for him, I wouldn't even be in this space having this conversation with Steve and you and everybody else. So Ben first, and then I'm like him, Ivan. He's hilarious. I kind of start my morning off with him every day just to get a good chuckle and some info and everything. So I used to listen to a lot more, but I've got to the point now where it's all kind of rinse and repeat and the same stuff. So it's like, it gets kind of boring for me. So I don't listen to it like I used to, but I have enough information to draw off of without having to continue to listen to everybody's podcast all the time and it being the same stuff regurgitated.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I like to listen to, I used to listen a lot to Michael Saylor. When I first got in, when you first get in, you're a new listener, even here, you need to listen to a lot of sources, because what you'll see them lining up, and it gives you some confidence and peace in the space. Well, this guy has these credentials. He says this. This guy he says this. Here's our favorite ex-truck driver. He's been saying this all along. The same thing as the MIT grad. And so it is nice to see all of those come together. But yeah, sometimes they do kind of start sounding the same. And I find myself right now, we're very busy now with the clubs and everything that entails in the bank. But I find myself trying to at least just get the news. And it's hard to figure out where the right news source is for the Bitcoin space. Steve, are there some places you could recommend for people to go to get like daily crypto news, like just sort of like, not like the propaganda, but you know what I mean?
Not really, unfortunately. I mean, it's all propaganda, like I've been in the space so long that I've watched it all turn into the same thing as mainstream, basically, right? That's again, why I love Ivan, because Ivan will actually every day, he does a show every day, right? So every day he'll just highlight some important things, Now, that being said, obviously we talked about Ben, but I was assuming that was a given that we already listened to Ben. That being said, it's probably advantageous to look at some things that are a bit more mainstream in the crypto space, like Altcoin Daily, for example. They're a much more like homogenized version, of what goes on. But the crypto space was built by degens, right? The crypto space was built by people who have built this gigantic technology ecosystem in the altcoin space, right? That's who built the crypto space, not Michael Saylor, not the people that are coming in from TradFi. Those people are all coming in 10 years, over a decade later, right? So that's, if you really want to get the information, I think you really should be plugged into wherever the degens have ended up. You know, Ivan is one of those kind of people, right?
Mhm.
And there's others too. You know, I don't listen to that many anymore, just like you, Janet, just like you were saying, Todd, just like you were saying. A lot of it does kind of become, you know, the same regurgitated AI information, you know.
Such a good point. And
Yeah.
I tell you one of the things I'm finding. So we're all on X a lot, and I was never on it until I guess Elon took over, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden it wasn't censored, and I felt like it was a safe space to actually put my thoughts out there. And I'm not even out there as a realtor. I'm just out there as Janet because I know some of my clients have different points of view, and I don't ever want to offend anyone. But what I see in a lot of the Bitcoiners and crypto space is people other topics as well that they're all in line with. And one of those is health. I'm constantly seeing feeds on health. We talk about the carnivore diet a lot.
Yep.
We are trying to get back to it. But it's all about that mindset, that healthy mindset. And what we're seeing is the lies were not only in money, they were in food. In fact, the Fiat Standard book talks about that. Steve, would you elaborate just a little on that?
Oh, I mean, everything is based, all these things are because of the fiat standard, right? It's all because of stretching a monetary system that has no value. So in order to continue forward with that business model, everything has to be produced more cheaply and then sold to the public that way, so that they buy the cheaper thing thinking that that's better for them than the original thing, right? Like, you know, we talk a lot about, you know, red meat, for example, right? That's been demonized. You know, we grew up when it was getting really demonized. I'm sure you all remember.
Yes.
Like, the 1980s was probably the apex of like just taking it, throwing arrows at it, you know, shooting it, basically saying, this is terrible. This is evil. Don't. Oh, if you eat red meat, you're going to have a heart attack and you're going to die. I mean, it was literally that insane, right? But that was what was going on here inside the United States and parts of Western Europe, you know, the legacy fiat relic countries.
Yeah.
Other parts of the world didn't do any of that at all. They never demonized animal products or anything like that. And, you know, the funny thing is, here we are decades later, those populations are far healthier than we are, right? So I just mean as a whole in general.
Oh, I can attest to that for sure.
So what does that tell you, right? And yeah, in the book, The Fiat Standard, a book that we here at the club promote and absolutely love by Saifuddin Ammous, he has a whole section called Fiat Foods. So if you really want to get into it, I recommend just checking that book out, or at least that chapter.
You know, I think what we do is we do a podcast sometime on that chapter.
Yeah.
Because it's just everywhere right now.
It's crazy.
People are wide awake now. Seed oils are bad. Sugar is bad. I never thought I could give up sugar. I've loved sugar my whole life. We gave it up for months, and it is joints didn't hurt, fog, slept better, skin's better. Everything's better when you remove sugar and the seed oils, and it's amazing. Shout out to Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
He said, "Don't forget to click that like button." Thank you, Rick. Good to see you there today.
Hey, Rick.
I already saw him this morning on Dr. J's show. So good to see you again, my friend.
Yeah, we have such a great community within the space, and anyone listening, join one of our clubs. So we're here at the Nashville Club. We have clubs in Sarasota. We have clubs outside of Massachusetts in Leominster. We open our Las Vegas club on the 2nd. Dallas is open. They're in Plano. And we're about to open St. Louis probably the end of August. But you don't have to have a physical location. Our clubs, we have online classes, live classes, and there's just a community. So when we're on our shows, it's fun to see our friends back and forth posting on the shows, and just really encouraging and helping one another. And that's the thing I love. It really is an abundant mentality. We were talking about trust this morning because Jay Show was talking about trust. He is in Australia right now, our CEO, forging relationships that we've had these relationships, but cementing them and creating what the next step's going to be. Because we have launched the bank in El Salvador, the private key bank. Go to bitcoinbend.io for more information. And then we'll have locations here in the States, which is going to be amazing. But, you know, trust is huge in the space and an abundant mindset. I mean, you've run into that, haven't you, Steve? Some
trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People.
Let's also use that. Let's use the Bitcoin analogy, since it's trustless.
Right.
That's, and you know, I don't know if I don't know if people outside the space know exactly what that means, because
They don't.
I didn't really know what that meant, you know, before I got into the space. But But trustless actually means trustworthy, right? That's really what it means, because it means that there's no third party, or there's no people that get in there,
No
and,
middleman.
yeah, and dirty it up, basically, right? And that happens in all systems. I mean, we're all part of the system. So I love people. That's the thing. Like, for me, I love people, and just some of them are behaving in ways that are not trustworthy. And you know what? That's
life.
That's where they're at.
That's life.
That's where they're at. And it's unfortunate, because it affects people, with negative energy and things like that. But if we focus on that, or give them our energy, because we're reacting to it as opposed to responding to it, then we're relinquishing our own powers, right? So the trust thing is a crazy thing.
Yes.
I love that, because we talk about these trustless these wallets, and in that the space it's so much safer than being in the fiat space, and you own your own bank and that type of thing. And it's that whole abundant mindset. And I think that's where the hope and the joy, and there is so much positivity in the space. And when you have people, like the fiat standard has people scraping for scraps, and their focus is on this little scrap when they don't see the big picture. We're here for the big picture. We're here to help people see that big picture. We're looking years ahead. When we met Ben 3.5 years ago,
3.5. Yep.
He was like 10 years ahead plus, right? And he still is. He'll come up with stuff and we're like, we're not quite ready for that yet, but we have it on the radar, because he's constantly, but it takes time to put programs and everything in place to get to that point. We had a couple of comments here, and I love this from Rick. He said all his friends that visit Europe said they ate more there, but they lost weight. What's wrong with our food? And absolutely. I went last summer with my daughters, and we ate croissants every day and gelato every day, and we didn't gain any weight. Of course, we walked everywhere because it's healthy. It's a walk society. But you've seen that in a lot of ways. You travel all over the world.
Yeah, I mean, I just was in the craziest countries of all time. Thailand, China, Taiwan, Japan. And Japan, unfortunately, is total fiat legacy relic energy, which is sad, especially because their culture is so cool. But the one thing I noticed there is that the people everybody's thin, and their diet is not like, it's not like carnivore like mine fully, but it's definitely better, right? Better as a whole.
Did I see a report the other day that President Trump that said once all these things shift and our food gets healthier, our people will get smaller? Did I see that? Did I read that right? Maybe not.
Perhaps.
There's so much going on out there, but I mean, guys, if they start pulling the preservatives out of the food and the sucralose and the corn syrup, corn, they start pulling that out. We have real food. Like when we were growing up, we'd have green beans, salt, a little bit of butter, maybe some bacon grease. Like it wasn't like 15 chemicals that you don't recognize in a can. You don't need that to have green beans.
So look at this. We've got Lori in here. She says, I'm getting ready to do some burpees. And I'm thinking, is it burpees or Slurpees?
She's a physical trainer.
Oh, well, it would be burpees then. Okay. I know exactly what that is.
And we need her help.
I do those every day.
Really?
Burpees are good.
Burpees are good. I need to do them.
I'd have to look it up.
I know what it is. It's like an up down. It's what we call an up down.
I have bad knees, so I do.
I played a little football, so it's an up down. They're not fun, especially when you were doing 100-yard ones. Yeah. That's not fun.
You played a lot of soccer too.
I played a lot of soccer back in the day. Yeah.
So what's interesting?
But I didn't do the acting. I didn't take acting lessons like these guys do. I mean, we would literally run people over. That's how soccer's supposed to be played. It's a physical sport.
Soccer is pretty insane. I mean, there's no break for like 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like all of the other commercial sports like that we made in the United States that are designed to sell people things and designed for consumerism, like American football, which has a commercial every second so you can buy more garbage. Yeah. Soccer is like it's a real sport.
Yeah, you're running a lot.
Have y'all seen those images from the 50s of the guys in high school in PE class? And there's a line of 20 of them. They look all physiques are about the same. And they're running them through this very tough course. Looks like something in the military, and they did it in class. That was normal. I mean, have y'all seen? There's no cross section you could find right now in a high school. I don't think.
Well, big pharma, Big Pharma's Big Pharma's got their hands in everything. So
Yeah.
One thing I just want to say about the food thing real quick.
Yeah.
We can't shift the blame though off ourselves.
No.
You know, like we can't sit here and go, oh, well, you know what? Everything will be great if they just take the high fructose corn syrup out of everything, right? That's no good either, because then, like, once again, we're relinquishing responsibility for our own existences, which is the very root of all the evil in general, right? You know, so that's another thing that's going on right now in the USA that I don't like the way it's being marketed and sold to the public.
Marketed, yeah.
That's a good point.
Well, see, now you've disappointed me, Steve, because I was looking forward to going back to my sugary alphabets that are all natural sugar.
That's in the Fiat standard.
Yeah,
The cereal.
Oh, yeah,
The
no
cereal.
doubt. Yeah, that's funny, man, because I could eat that stuff like candy.
Oh, I used to.
It took a while to get this physique right here. Let me tell you. I've worked hard on this.
I don't think that was cereal. We have a sweet tooth at our house.
Oh yeah.
That's the hardest thing. But you know, the changes we made when we did the carnivore diet, the first changes we made that were so hard, we had switched to honey in our coffee, which took a minute from sugar, but we did a local honey that was clover that was really sweet, and we loved it. And so we did that for a long time. So then we started doing black coffee, and that was a hard switch to drinking black coffee. And we could put heavy cream in it. That's on the carnivore diet.
And butter.
I put a little cinnamon in it. How do you do your coffee, Steve, on the carnivore diet?
My coffee is just a ton of butter, grass-fed butter from Ireland.
Yes.
I don't even buy butter that's from the United States.
Oh, I don't either.
I will not buy butter from the United States.
Kerrygold?
Kerrygold from Ireland, or other European butter from Europe, you know. And then unfortunately the dairy in our country, because I travel so much, is not even close to as good as the dairy when you go to other countries. You know, I go to Mexico, the dairy just blows away the dairy here, you know. And so, but I put heavy cream and a ton of butter, and I whip it up in my magic bullet. That's my coffee every day.
Okay, I need to try that one.
And you're addicted to it too, man. You drink 3 or 4 coffees.
You know, I'm going on like almost 5 years of that now. That really changed a lot for me. It was just that simple addition to my life.
Wow. How do you do your coffee now?
I pretty much do it like he does, except I don't have the magic bullet. I like that idea though, because it kind of gives a little froth, doesn't it?
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it would be kind of fun. That thing is neat. I need to try that sometime. That's one word device I need to get for the house. So there you go.
See, I'm still doing mine black or with a little bit of cinnamon, maybe a touch of cream. But what you said, food in other countries, when we were in El Salvador a year or 2 ago, the rice was good. Like rice here tastes like eating paper. Oh, so bad.
There's no telling what's in it.
It was so good there. I'm like, I didn't know rice could taste that good. And though that sounds funny, but rice.
It's true. I mean, the rice everywhere I was in Asia was just incredible. Obviously, they know about rice.
Yeah.
It's a staple, man. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, in China, the food quality was so high. It was stupid.
And that's the difference. So we started growing strawberries and blueberries at our house. Not like a ton. We're here all the time, right? They were so good. I will say those were the sweetest strawberries, just straight off the vine. You don't realize how bad what you're getting in the store is. And they don't want to. They used to have victory gardens in the 40s. When the wars were going on, people grew their food. They don't really want you to grow your food, but there has been a massive movement back, and it tastes so much better. So,
I mean, you can't even go back. If you've had blueberries that you're growing for straw, when you go to, if you buy it from a store, you're going to be like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's nice.
Unless you maybe if you buy like the frozen wild blueberries, because at least those are picked and then frozen, right? That's that's a little bit better, right? Yeah. You know, like there's that, I forget the company, the one from Maine or whatever it is, but yeah.
Have you heard the one about the Chinese, not espionage, but the Chinese people here, the spies here, I guess, they brought biological weapons in here, and like our citrus crop in Florida has like a fungus on it. Like we've lost 90% of our crop there. I read that recently and I didn't know. And they arrested 2 Chinese nationals that were coming in with a bioagent that they thought was maybe going to affect produce. I'd have to look into that further, but all that to say is there's a lot more going on than even big pharma. Like when good is happening, evil wants to bring it down. That's just how it is.
That's
what we see in this nation.
Yeah, that's an interesting story. Like that, pointing that out when there's much more evil going on right in house.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that is.
Maybe it was a distraction.
It's likely a distraction, but it could also be real. Like the things, who knows? Who knows, right?
I mean, was the Coldplay thing a distraction this week? Because it was
Oh,
everywhere
what
I
happened with
looked.
Coldplay?
The couple in the cam.
Oh,
You know that.
I didn't see any of this stuff.
Okay, well,
You're like me. You don't watch a lot of regular news.
well, I'm just on.
Yeah.
I don't watch news. It's on socials. They were
I
having
didn't
an
see it,
affair.
though.
A CEO and his HR person are having an affair, and they're hugging. And the Coldplay cam goes right on them, and she ducks and hides. And every meme that you see with people at a ball field and the cam goes on and they duck and hide, it's from that Coldplay. And he said, "Oh, they're either having an affair or something," and they were. So all these lives, you know, I feel so sorry for all their families and lives. But anyway, all to say is, was that a distraction? Because it was on every outlet I looked at for a while.
Can I make a comment on that?
You sure may.
That's pathetic.
Agreed.
It's pathetic. What's pathetic is not that happened. It's pathetic that people care so much about that.
And they're wrapped in it.
Marshall McLuhan, who was a great thinker in the 20th century, Canadian thinker and writer and philosopher and futurist and technology commentator, he said, in the future, everyone will be more concerned with what everybody else is doing than what they themselves are doing in their own lives.
Wow. You know, say that one more time.
And in the future, everyone will be more concerned with what everyone else is doing than what they themselves will be doing in their own lives. And I would say that he was 100%, he's a prophet, this man, because that's exactly what everybody does looking at social media all the time, right? Is looking at what other people are doing, comparing ourselves, all that stuff that basically, it basically brings our own spirit down to low frequencies and breaks us down, you know, right?
So searching for likes and all that stuff and affirmation from people you don't even know. That's really what it's about.
So that's interesting. You brought that up, the Coldplay thing, because that's like a great example of look how big, look how it blew up, look how huge it gets, right?
But there are two takeaways from that. First of all, like what you were saying, comparison is the thief of joy. When we are on these devices and on this, and we see it, even if our life is great, when you see, I'm not doing that, right? It's something else you don't have, and it takes your joy. It's hard. You get off of that, and there's this negative mindset. The other thing is these people were having an affair, right? And all these people are making light, making fun of it. There's so much pain involved, but a lot of people do that because they don't want to look at their own crap in their lives. They don't want to look at the own things they're doing wrong. Let's deflect and look at these people and not look in the mirror.
Janet, now you're getting into the real super lofty thing, and that is that everything is a mirror, right? That's what, you know, many Eastern philosophies have been saying for thousands and thousands of years, right? This is all a mirror, right? So that is, what's the saying? As within, so without.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Yep.
So, you know, that is amazing what you're talking about. And that's true, right? People will, if they're attacking that, if they're so concerned with those two people that they don't even know, by the way, they don't even know those people. They have no idea what their lives are like, what's led them to that affair, or any of the variables that go around to all the things that all of us are, you know, guilty of in some way, because we're all part of the same ecosystem, this humanity. Then, you know, that often reflects on their inner truths.
Yeah. You know, it is like garbage in, garbage out. I've always heard that. So you want to put good things in, good things. And you are, what comes out is what's in your heart.
Yeah. I like that, garbage in, garbage out. That's
right.
And this applies in artwork, in paintings. It applies in music. So when you see these dark, heavy music, the person may have some stuff they're struggling with, or had survived some stuff, or had some tough things in life. Like there's a different, like in art, when my dad died, I was in college and I was a marketing and a fine arts major. And I did this painting, and my professor looked at it, and I didn't realize this painting was all about my dad dying. I had no idea. I had taken y'all remember Ralph Lauren Safari perfume?
Oh, heck
and it had these etched glass. It was really pretty. And I had one with some powder in it, and I had the lid on it on its side, and I painted it because glass has all these pretty prisms. So I was doing this complex painting with it, but I had it on this red velvet thing. The lid was on, and David looked at it, and he said, "This painting is about your dad's death." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You were the white powder, you know, the pure, the happy. Your dad died, and there are all this pain. So you've got all the etchings in the glass." He said, "And the red represents his death." He said, "The lid's on because you're holding it all in."
Wow. That's deep.
I mean, that's exactly how art operates. You know, that's why it's such an important part of civilization, because it shows how we feel and think and live and are in this whole incredible experience.
People, heart is everything. Bitcoin Ben has a huge heart. Our community, we have beautiful people in this community with big hearts that are working very hard every day to help people with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is going to help so many churches even and charities and people in their everyday lives. But you have to care. And then if you're not, you're just going to be selfish and stack it. And our people, I'm so grateful to be in this community because we care.
Oh, totally. I mean, just have to get out of that scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So guys, we have like 3 minutes left and I took it heavy. I wanted this to be a fun podcast and I kind of went heavy with it, but
it's still fun.
We go with the flow, whatever it takes us.
Yeah. Anything you want to share here at the end? We got about 3 minutes.
Just that the crypto market is pretty hot. It's heated up quite a bit, and I hope that we're all paying attention and just participating in this incredible movement.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Todd, you want to say anything?
Yeah. Look for Janet and I to be doing something on the road. She's going opposite direction. I'm heading out to Vegas for our grand opening at our Las Vegas club. So we may be doing a God, Freedom, and Bitcoin on the road from one location.
Separate cities.
So I look forward to that. And, you just never know when we're going to be back on.
That's funny. Yeah. I'm going to get to visit our Sarasota club next week. I'm so excited. I've been there a few times, but I love our team there. They're on Bee Ridge Road if anyone's in the Florida area. And they're open. I think they're open Monday through Saturday.
No,
I think. Or they
right?
Friday?
It's Friday now.
Saturday's
I think they close on Saturday.
Yeah, Monday through Friday.
And so our Las Vegas club opens August 2nd. Bitcoin Ben and Dr. J. Bose will be there between 12 and 3. They are at 160 West Wyoming Avenue. It's kind of in an arts district. Todd will be there too. And so we're excited about that. And then they have a really nice event that evening, I think starting at 7. So go to bitcoinben.io and click on the Las Vegas Club, and you'll see the invite on there, and it takes you to Evite so you can RSVP so they can have head count. So that's bitcoinben.io. Go to Las Vegas Club and click through. Our Dallas Club is now open, and we have a meetup in Scottsdale this Saturday.
Yes.
So if you are in anywhere near Scottsdale, Arizona, go to the pitch near the quad at the quad in Old Town Scottsdale, and from 6 to 9, Bitcoin Ben will be there. We've sent some giveaways. There'll be some nice giveaways. I'll probably give away Bitcoin. You never know. But they're going to be in the back room. Light food and drinks will be provided. So we have a Scottsdale meetup the next Saturday, and that's on Saturday, this coming Saturday. And that is the 26th, right? 26th. Right. And then August 2nd is Las Vegas. And then St. Louis will be opening probably the end of August or early September is my guess. And our bank will come on live on October 1. We've got kind of a soft thing going on with it right now. And so anyway, what a great, we have so much going on. Steve Blanco, we are so glad you're here with us today. Where are you headed next on your tour?
I fly to Budapest on Saturday.
Wow.
By the way, another amazing city for food.
Send us pictures.
Unreal. I will.
Okay, so you have to come back with the rest. You have to sneak us some food.
Yeah, we actually snuck this podcast in. We got him just barely. With all the appointments we have and the classes we've got and everything, it's just been a busy week. So we were very fortunate to be able to get this one put together for you guys with a very quality individual who is one of our main instructors here. And we're so thankful to have him here.
And Steve, you are actually teaching our class today. So if anyone's listening and you haven't joined the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club family, go to bitcoinben.io. There are 6 clubs on that page. Pick one and join. We obviously are partial to Nashville, but just join the family. And in 1 hour, Steve will be teaching at 12:30 Central. And today's topic is long-term versus short-term, right?
Portfolio strategies.
Portfolio strategy.
Yeah. And I just want to say one more thing. Bitcoin Ben's to the moon.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And we also are not financial advisors. So when you hear that class, don't think we're giving financial advice. We're not. We are strictly education as far as that goes and programs. So keep that in mind.
Yeah. So go to bitcoinben.io and join one of the clubs. We have for private exclusive club member benefits include non-KYC Bitcoin purchases, loans for Bitcoin, home equity lines for Bitcoin, Bitcoin mining pools, the private key bank, and there's so much more coming. We're going to have a yacht club, a jet club, resorts. The list is long. Join bitcoinben.io. Join our clubs. Come visit us the class. Thank you for joining us today. Todd and Steve, thank you both so much.
Peace out.
Come grow with us, guys.
Yeah.
Look forward to seeing you.
Have a great day.